Hello, Machining 1391 again. This will be the second video. It will be the walk through the D2L and the walk through the project and what's expected. First thing we need to do is get to D2L. Log in to your My Lone Star. Go to LSC Online. Or you can log directly into Brightspace. Yours is going to look different than mine. Special topics of machine technology. This section is inactive. This is the only section you need to pay attention to. Click on that. You'll see here the important dates. We've gone over that with the syllabus. And there's the course outline. Course materials, there is no book, there is no course materials. Content is important. Here in the table of contents, here's your syllabus. We've already gone through the syllabus. You can download the syllabus and put it in your own file. In this folder, when I get done with this video, then the video list will be complete and it'll be in this folder. And you will have already been emailed the video list and everything you need. Reference materials, master formula sheet that came out of Machine Shop Mathematics in case you still need it. Stare-it tools and rules. Haas lathe programming manual. Haas mill programming manual. Haas live tool operating program and manual. In case you need that to refresh your memory on how to program for CNC. Here are the project requirements. Well, before we get to that, let's go up here to grades. Here's a grade sheet. And that's it. Right now, Munez, you're the only one that's in this course. So, course activities, there's the, man, we don't have course activities. You got project due. That's emailed to me. Here's class list. So, you do not need student orientation because you're a student, and that's pretty much it. So let's go back over here to the course content. These are all PDFs. You can download them. If you do not have a copy of these programming manuals from Haas, I suggest you download them. Download this, and you can download the master formulas on a thumb drive or a separate drive. I would certainly do that. Okay. Time-wise, where are we at? And we're not even at 3 minutes yet. All right, project requirements. This is the guts. Again, you're on your own for this project. If you got questions, you can email me. All right, so that's what it looks like when you open it up. But I'm not going to fight with D2L, so I'm going to go and open up the PDF version of what this is on my drive. All right. We're going to get the marker set up in case we need to emphasize something. There we go. All right. Again, this is Machining 1391, 16 weeks, special topics online. The attached set of drawings is the assigned project. This is a real-world project which was designed and built by me for my gunsmithing. There is a weldment as a part of this project. You're to ignore the weldment as it is not machining, it's welding. I've already put the notes on the drawing for that. You are to generate the following for the project. All coordinate geometry for all the parts, delineated so I can read them. You will put them in a table. Part in the geometry, or make a separate drawing and do the geometry layout on it. If you don't know what coordinate geometry is, you might want to drop this course. Go get a job in machining and we'll PLA your co-op. If the drawings have coordinate geometry on them from me, you are to check them to make sure they are correct. You are to delineate in a detailed manner how you're going to make each part, the order of operations. You will list all cutting tools needed, including size, diameter, etc. Each tool will have a tool number tied to your programming. You can go out online, go to Bass Tool and Supply, and take a screenshot of each of those tools that you need. What kind of mill, what kind of cutter, how you going to do this, the drill bits, etc., etc. And the tap. What kind of tap, and why are you going to choose that tap? Whether you're going to use a spiral flute cutting tap or a regular straight flute. You will list all cutting speeds. You will list all cutting tools needed, including the size, diameter of each tool. You will have a tool number tied to your programming. You will list all cutting speeds, feed rates, etc. for each tool delineated to the operation of the part. The cutting speeds and feed rates will have calculations for each one, proving that it is the correct speed and feed. These are canned calculations. You can type them. If you want to use a calculator online for speeds and feeds with the right cutting speed, you tell me why you chose that cutting speed. All right. The drilling and tapping of each hole will have calculations for the percent threads with corresponding drill diameter. If you want to know more about that, there's the link to Goering's drill and tap calculator. For the heat sink, all coordinate geometry and threading calculations for the single point threading. For all the operations delineated above, you will generate a typeset of G codes for programming the project on a Haas machine. These codes will be tied back to each operation, including but not limited to speeds, feeds, and tool changes, and anything else you feel I need to know to prove you know your machining business, just like you were supposed to have done in his CNC classes. Now, A through H equal 8 items. Midpoint equals 50 and final equals 50. Therefore, 50 divided by 8 means each one of these is worth 6.25 points each. You do not have to wait for the official due date. If you finish early, you will be done with the project and the course. Matters not if you finish both the midpoint and the final point in 8 weeks. And if you want to submit your midpoint and your final all as one before the due date, in other words, the midpoint is like what, October the 31st? So if you want to say that's my final, I'm done, and you tell me you're done and that's your final, that's both your midpoint and your final, then I'll grade it and treat it as the midpoint and the final, and then you'll be done in 8 weeks. And you can go on with your life. Yes, you can use CAD/CAM software. Remember, this is a 100% online independent study course, so there will not be much hand-holding. You have finished all the machining courses, so you should be able to do this. I reserve the right to add to this list or take away if needed. Any questions, you will email me. And if I so deem we need to meet face-to-face, you better be willing to meet me face-to-face. That is for the review, if we need to. If you do what you're supposed to do, and you did what you were supposed to do in your CNC classes and take care of all of this, and we shouldn't have any questions. It should all be delineated. If you do this project right, you can use this as a portfolio to interview for a machining job. All right, here's a picture of the welding jig. Now this sharp bolt, I only needed 2 of these. And there's the heat sink. That right there's the heat sink. Okay? You can read all this on your own. There's the heat sink. Screws in the back of the bolt. This talks about why, some of the revisions, etc., etc. This is the weldment. This right here is this. I'm not asking you to program or machine that. That was cut, jigged up, welded by me for my tool. I wasn't gonna spend $150. I had that stuff in a scrap bin. Okay. So again, ignore this weldment for the project. Okay. There's a drawing. What each part's supposed to look like. Material is aluminum. These are note changes. The stuff that's been scratched out, we're going to change. We've changed it, so this is the deal. This is your drawing. Okay. We changed the 1/2 inch to 3/8, and 1/2 to 20, 3/8 16. So that was changed. All right, here's a drawing of the heat sink. See? If you need to redo this, redraw it, that's fine. Go ahead. That's a 1/2 by 13 heat sink. Everything should be on here. That's 1/2 by 13 UNC. That threads into a Remington 700 bolt. Double check the basic max and min with your machine shop handbook. Better double check it, because I'll be checking you. All this you're going to program. There's your threading. I expect to see threading calculations, etc., etc. Now, I made mine out of 2 of these. I had 2 square pieces of aluminum. And once I got done, I split the thing. So that gave me part A, part B, part C, and part D, because I ended up with 4 of these. There's another view. You ought to be able to tell what view that is. You had blueprint reading. And that's the final project that I came up with. So I had 4 of these. So in case I need an extra support to realign the bolt to hold it, I can. So generally I can get by with 2, but sometimes for a longer bolt you need extra support on 1 or 2 of these. But since I was CNCing this thing, I just had 2 of these, and then just split them and polished them, cleaned them up. No, you're not going to manufacture these nuts and bolts and washers. That's hardware you buy manufactured. Okay, that's firing pin extraction tool for Remington 700 bolt. Heat sink screws into there. You can pull that out of the freezer and put it in there, and when you have to weld a little bit on there and then let it cool, pull the heat sink out, let it get cold again in the freezer, put it back in, finish your welding job. I built one of these heat sinks for 1903 A3 Mauser. Springfield. There's a heat sink screwed into there. That's just a coupling to protect the threads on the heat sink. That's all that is. See, and that short ass bolt, all I had to do was got it lined up and course, if this was cut, like if you're actually doing an old straight bolt Mauser or a straight bolt Springfield, you'd end up cutting that or heating it, partially cutting it and bending it, and you'd using one of the other clamps. Get this perfectly level, align that, and then right in here you'll start your root weld. Watch your heat. You put heat paste on this, heat paste on this, let it cool. Go put that back in the freezer, stick it back in there, do some more welding on it till you're done. Then you polish it good and then re-blue it. And that's it. So your programming and picking of the tools and how you're going to do this, what machine you're going to use, what kind of tool, what kind of threading tool, what kind of milling tools, what kind of surface tools, what kind of saw cut, blah 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 blah. Okay. But that's your final. That's what it's supposed to be. And so you just run that mill in there and it puts a radius. You want a radius. You don't ever want a sharp corner. Okay? All right. If you got any questions, you certainly can email me. But I think this is pretty straightforward. Based on your transcript, you shouldn't have any problems with this. We're at 1659. Okay. This will be in D2L for you to download. Well, actually, it's already in D2L for you to download. And no, I don't want to save the marks I put on there. See, it's already in D2L. So all you got to do is go up here and just download the thing. You can download it with that link, or you can go back to content, click on that, and download. So the only thing that's not on here is the video list yet. So once YouTube gives me the link for both that and the syllabus video, then there'll be a PDF in here. I mean, I'll email all this to you. All right, well, good luck. You got 15 weeks. I would set a goal to get this knocked out in 8. That way you won't sweat it. Then you can graduate. Now, when you do graduate, it's going to be a while probably before you get a piece of paper from Lone Star. Munez, if you need a letter from me for a job, all you got to do is email me and say, hey, I'm applying for Billy Bob's Machine Shop. They want proof that I've actually graduated from the whole program. I do this a lot. I will run your transcript, and as soon as you finish your stuff in the fall, you're gonna have to apply for graduation online. The transcript should show that the degree's been awarded to you. If you have problems with that, you get with me. I will get with you with Student Services at the Cypress Center, and we'll get it handled. So once that transcript shows that you've been awarded the AAS, then I just send a letter to whom it may concern that this individual has satisfied all the requirements. Just because he doesn't have a piece of paper to photocopy that says a degree yet, it takes Lone Star a while to do that. But your transcript is the legal proof that your degree was awarded. All right. Any issues with this? You email me and we'll work it out. Okay. All right. Well, good luck to you.